Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 16th of May 2020. Thanks for joining me. Look who's back. It's the little bird in the table. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of today. I hope you had a wonderful week and that you have an amazing weekend here. This is for all signs of the zodiac. It's for everyone who watches. I just asked the cards, what is Saturday the 16th about and how can we make the most of the day? So we have the Page of Cups, then we have the Two of Cups, both water, and finally we have the Hermit. Watery in a sense, 9 in numerology is spirituality and completion, so water in the sense of the intuition. The Hermit is watery in that sense. So let's have a look at what all these mean. The Page of Cups is young mermaid here swimming along or trying to make something. And she's just learning about how to connect with other people, how to bring joy and beauty into her own life, and how to make herself happy, really. What is it that she wants to do? What is it that makes her feel connected? And the question really is, what can I do to make myself feel better? The next card, and the Page of Cups is a court card, so it's about inexperience when it comes to matters of the heart. Anything to do with love and romance, emotions running very high. That is not so great, because if you're inexperienced with those, it's likely that you're going to get things wrong. And the Page of Cups tends to learn by getting things wrong, and then becomes the Knight of Cups, where she becomes really extreme, and then finally she masters the element as the Queen of Cups. But here, you're not quite certain of yourself. You don't know whether what you're doing is right or not, so there's a lot of room for self-doubt. We have the Two of Cups next, and that is like the Lovers in the Major Arcana, but it's the temporary version in the Minor Arcana. So you can see this kind of tree fairy, this wood nymph, connecting with this kind of other white tree-like energy, and they're intertwined and they love each other, and they're cups and fish floating around, and this heart hanging down. So that's what brings them together. That's what really binds them, this shared sense of love. So this is at the center of the reading. So you're going to love something or someone today. We've got the sign of Pisces here, the two fish. And Pisces is a sign of the zodiac that, like the Hermit, is the last sign of the zodiac. It's all about winding down and pulling away the veil to the other side. The Hermit, 9, is about finding a kind of completion point within yourself by shining this light of truth within you and realizing that you're part of this infinite, never-ending cycle of life. These two, it's interesting that they're trees in this deck, because the Two of Cups, they're with one another and then they go their separate ways as they learn and progress. Trees don't really do that. Trees are there for the duration. So this is saying that if you don't pay attention, you can build a relationship with someone or something today that puts you kind of in a situation where you don't really know what you're doing. So you're a beginner and you're really focused on the self, not other people. And this could be problematic. So you're introverted, you're reflective via the Hermit. These geese here are flying away to freedom, and it's about finding joy in the universe and being in the flow of life. That's what you want to figure out today. And usually when you're in that mode, being disturbed by other people is something that you're not particularly into. And here the Page of Cups is trying to find their own way in life, and also a relationship serves as a distraction. So it's not the ideal basis for a relationship. Emotional inexperience, a lack of clarity, And the Hermit, a desire to think rather than communicate, and to go within, so to communicate with the self instead of others. So there can be love today. If you do meet someone completely new, or if you run into something, people, places and things. So if you run into a place, or you go visit somewhere where you've never been and you're like, this is so amazing, I need to stay here, I'm never leaving, I'm just travel to Costa Rica and I'm just going to stay here because I love it so much and that I'm in love, okay? A person or some activity, you go sailing for the first time. Oh, I have to do this. So there's an expression here, I think in the UK, it's called all the gear and no idea. It's like when you have all this skiing gear, you know, like the amazing skis and the suits and stuff, and then you actually get on the slope and you can't ski at all. All the gear and no idea. And that's kind of what you're doing when it comes to love here. You're kind of bumbling along. You don't really know whether you're coming or going, whether you should move or stay. And there seems to be this almost fated meeting between you and someone else. But the best way to do that is to make it as much a reflection of yourself as possible. Because Pisces and the Two of Cups is about duality. So it's trying to minimize the gap between those two things. So if something really goes in your schedule, like you want to start swimming and you do an hour before work, and it really goes into your schedule very well, and you fall in love with it, and that allows you to contemplate by your own while you're swimming, then that's great. But if you meet another person and they are in another country and it's incredibly difficult to have a relationship with them, then you know that that's kind of out of bounds, or it's not the ideal relationship you ought to pursue, because it just doesn't mesh right. Your head's not in the right place, and also you don't know what you're getting yourself into. In a month's time, you may look at this and think, oh my goodness, I need to take my tree roots here out of the ground and plant myself somewhere completely different, because you may not want to be involved with that thing or place or person anymore. So today is kind of caution when it comes to love and romance. Don't just jump in blindly. Think about what you're doing before, or don't so much think about it. Both of these they have a little bit of yellow surrounded by lots of blue and purple. So purple is the intuition, blue is feelings, spirituality, and this yellow is joy and control. Same thing here. So you're able to bring joy and this kind of light into your own life, mostly. When it comes to other people, it's behind and you don't really know how you're supposed to go about that. So there's really a lot of room for personal growth and development, and I think that's the opportunity you ought to get out of this day. How do you get into the flow of things? I'm going to try, for example, a different meditation technique today, which hopefully is going to connect me with something or someone that I love. So I think it's about an inner journey, because the Hermit is about going within and finding that infinite, never-ending river of the universe, if you want to call it that. And here, she's also holding this cup, and it's something for her. She's looking at this. So it's either something that she can enjoy, or it's some magic cup she can look into and divine the future. It doesn't really matter, but as long as you focus on yourself rather than other people, you know you're on the right track. So if you're putting yourself out all the time for other people today, you know you're not doing it right. If you're doing what you want and other people come along with you, or you discover other things as you go, then that's okay. But you kind of have to put yourself first. And the self is on the outs here. And what's in the middle is you intertwined with something or someone else. So really be careful about who you get involved with. It's much easier to get into relationships than it is to leave them. So just make sure that you really want to go for it. And the Two of Cups kind of says that this isn't the right relationship, because if it were, then it wouldn't be temporary, it'd be permanent. It would be the lovers. So this relationship is never going to be ideal because there's always something uneven about it. So the best relationship really you can build today is the relationship you have with yourself and with your spiritual side or your intuitive side. Because the Page of Cups on a plus note gives you the open-mindedness and willingness to look, and the Hermit standing on top of all this gives you more clarity and vision, and you're able to see within. Number-wise, we've got the Page. That's a chord card. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 and 9 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 is about communication, new beginnings. So what is it that you can find within yourself that fills you full of love and joy and a sense of, oh, I want more of this in my life? Ask yourself that and communicate with that side of yourself and see where that leads you, rather than how can I find love and connection out there in the world? How can I try and fool someone into spending time with me? Or how can I bribe someone to go on a date with me, or whatever it may be? You don't need to do any of that. Those kind of actions come from someone who thinks they're not worthy. You are worthy, so you don't need to bother with that, and you're able to think about yourself. And thinking about the self is usually quite easy for most people, and if you try something new, you find something hidden that could be the start of something that you love to do or a place you adore to go to. So be open-minded, but just make sure that you're the person controlling everything, because yellow can be associated with the solar plexus chakra, and that's about control, and it's about being in the center of your torso, and it's like the ultimate battery. And that's what you've got to go on. You can have that control by looking within and seeing what it is you love. Have a wonderful day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website. It's gregoryscott.com. In the personal readings, I use tarot, astrology, numerology, and my intuition. To draw up your astrology chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me on the website. Once I have those details, I can draw up your birth chart and analyze your details. I also look at the astrocartography, where the best place is to live. And once I have the chart drawn up, it tells me everything about you, what your life purpose is, your vocational aptitudes, when it's likely for you to move, money, romance, the future. If you have any questions at all, then please just get in touch for a personal reading. If you like this video, then please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.